point, right? So we need to gather
Yes.
the data from a different source, from the respective source. And as a data analyst, you can help growing a company with the data which you have, right? So
Yes.
in each different company, they have the data for their customer. Okay, how do
Yes.
they have the data for their customer? Because they are capturing the data. For an example, if you are writing anything on Google, you are trying to suffer the net, and you're suffering net, and that's when you're writing something. So the history is capturing in background, right? So that's
Yes.
how the data is captured. So you are as a customer for Google, and Google is trying to capture your history so they can, so Google can provide you the service it in a better way, right? So
Yes.
whenever you would want to search, for an example, you are trying to search on YouTube, for an example, you want to search anything on Instagram or any other application like YouTube or others, the relevant videos or the relevant, content we get to see what we are
Yes.
searching for, right? So
Yes.
we know this thing that the data is obviously captured behind. That's why the recommendations are provided accordingly, correct?
Yes. Correct.
So everything is data, and that is what we know, that this era is for the data era. I mean, we all are, you know, working on data, knowingly, unknowingly, creating a data for our service provider, and then the service provider is trying to serve us in a better way basis the data what we are sharing with them, right?
Yes.
So yes. So for an example, if we are as a data analyst, right? What can we help here? So if you are data analyst, obviously the data is stored in the database, right? The data is stored somewhere, and we call it as a database. Now, as a data analyst, you can help increasing the profit for company. Okay. You also need to ensure that the stock availability is completely fine. Stock is not in deficit, right? Who all are
Yes.
buying, who are interested, the data you need to take care of, so you can help the company growing in a better way. For an example, if you're working for Amazon, right, and Amazon where people are trying to buy some product, they should be available, right? If they are not available, then the delivery will get delayed, right?
Yes.
Customer will not be able to get the delivery within a time frame, and there are chances that they will be unhappy with the service, they will be able to cancel the order, right?
Order.
So all
Yes.
these things are because the data is there. Who are buying? Now this is related to interest. For an example, if you are searching a footwear on your Mantra or Amazon or any other application, the relevant footwear, related product you can see on the Amazon and any other application, right?
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
related to interest. Now your interests are also getting captured. If you are trying to buy a phone, okay, if you are trying to search for phone on Amazon, then Amazon will recommend you all different kind of phones which are related to your interest, okay, which are related to the specification which you are searching for, correct? Okay.
Correct.
So this is related to who are buying, right? Now let's move on the next one, and there are three different snapshot which you can see here, and this is one of the dashboard only. So this is for one of the supermarket, which is a D-Mart, right? So here you can see three
Yeah.
different snapshot which are prepared by the data analyst itself. Okay, as a data analyst, if you are a data analyst, you prepared this thing, and this is how you need to summarize the data. So in one place where you can see category wise sales, the first option, okay, the first snapshot. In the second one, you can see day and weekend wise contribution of people who are visiting the DMart store. So this data is for DMart, right? You already know what DMart is.
Yes.
It is one of the superstore, correct? Where we
Yes.
get all grocery and rest of the items, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here the uh, the first one where you can see grocery is having the highest sales, clothes is having good sales, and then other items, if you can see any other items and gift items, their sales is quite low comparatively, right? For an example, grocery is highest in the sales. Do you see in the very first snapshot?
Yes.
How do you see it? How do you observe it? Because you know how to read the graph, okay? And you
Yes.
could read it very easily. Like grocery is having highest sales because it is having the biggest bar here. Clothes is having then lower bar, and the lowest bar is for gift item and any other items, right? You could observe it because you know how to read the graph, you know how to read the visual, right? So as a data analyst, you may be, you know, sharing the feedback with your supervisor that if the gift item bay, okay, there are different bays also, right? In DMart, for an example, one bay is for grocery, other bays, other floor is for clothes, then you have for food specific bays there for, right?
Yes.
So there are more chances if you keep the gift item bay near to cloth bay, right? Because your eye will capture if you're trying to buy any cloth, and some time of point of time, if you can see the gift items also. For an example, if you're going for any event and you're trying to buy clothes, and at the same point of time, if your eye captures a gift bay also, so you will be able to see it, right? That yeah,
Yes.
that you require a gift, right? So the sales will get increased for gift items also if you keep the gift item bay near to the clothes bay, correct? And that's how
Yes.
you will be
Correct.
able to observe if you're going in different superstore, the gift items are kept near to the clothes bay, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So this is what you can, this is we just you know, we are just reading the graph, and that's how you can analyze the data and share the feedback with the organizer or the leadership. Similarly, in the second snapshot, you can see 60% of people are coming in weekends, only 40% of people are in the weekdays. So you can
Mm.
share feedback that you can get offer within the weekdays for attracting customer in the weekdays also, right?
Yes. Right.
And that's what happened in you know, in many of the superstore. Most of the time the offers are in the weekdays for attracting the customers. Okay, so as a data analyst, you can help your supervisor with these feedbacks. So accordingly, ultimately you are increasing the profit, you are ultimately increasing the number of visitors in the DMart, right? Also,
Right.
in the other option, if you can see, there are shift wise visitors which are visiting the DMart store. Now you need to also ensure that the maximum support staff is available within these two shifts where you have highest visit, maximum visit in the store, correct? So all these things which we will be able to understand when we have idea of it. I hope you're there, right?
Yes.
So this is specific dashboard which you can see. This is prepared on Excel where you can see all of the presentations or all of the snapshot are
Mm-hmm.
captured on the one place. This is like an one view dashboard, right? So this is how
Yes.
the analysts, you know, share the dashboards to the leadership, and that's what we are going to learn in our training, right? So here
Correct.
you can
Yes.
see all the different sales and leads. Similarly, you can see a different donut chart which is showing you the customer source wise contribution. How do we create this contribution basis the Excel, which is one of the advanced tool for analyzing the data, right? You also can see sales and leads basis the different categories. For an example, on calls you have this much the sales and the 50 leads are there, right? For presentation you can see,
Yes.
okay, so all these different snapshot. You also see top 5 managers who are performing best within the quarter, right? So all these things are
Yes.
possible when we have idea that how can we prepare such beautiful presentation and such beautiful dashboard on the Excel. Okay, this is the
Excellent.
second
Yes.
example where you can see Tableau dashboard, and the next one where you can see what all you are going to work. So, like you said in beginning that you collect the data, right? So that's what we can
Yes.
see here. Data extraction, which means downloading the data. Preparation and transformation. We are preparing the dashboard, right? It will take some
Yes.
time. You will edit it,
Mm.
all things is it required for you. You will also require many data points from different source, right? So this is what it has mentioned: acquire data from primary and secondary data source, right?
Yes. Right.
Now analyze the information and identify patterns and trends. You should be knowing what trends do you would want to show to the leadership and what would be the beneficial, right? It should not be like
Yes.
you just prepare a simple chart and share it with the people who are in your uh, you know who are your colleague.
Mm-hmm.
So all these points which you can see, report generation, monitor maintenance, the operability of dashboard and reporting, designing dashboard, all these are the work of data analyst, right? Now they are
Yes.
from any of the graduation or any professional, if they are already working in any of the department or within any of the organization which are from any field, it's completely fine for them because data analyst is one of the skill. Okay, if you get to learn the skill, then you
Yes.
will be able to work on it, right? It is as
Yes. Right.
similar as you try to search anything on YouTube, but nobody taught you how do you search things on YouTube, right? As you do it on
Yes.
regular basis, you know how to operate it. So tools are also like the same thing. And that's all from my side. We are going to learn Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Google Sheets, and everything, right? In a way, how it is required for fulfilling the requirement of our organizer who are hiring us, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay, Vasundhara. So, do you have any question out of anything which we have discussed so far?
So the this course is total 2 months, right?
Yes, it's going to be a 2 months, and the session is going to be on weekdays. It is 1 hour session every day from Monday to Friday. It is a 1 hour
Okay.
session, 2 months, which means including of your weekends also. So if you just count your weekdays, there'll be
Mm-hmm.
somewhere close to 45 days or 44 days.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So good that you have interest about it. And the next thing which you want to go for uh, is the daily session. Please ensure that you join the daily session and try to practice on the same thing which is required and taught here in the session, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay, so that is what we are going to do, and we are simply going to take a very simple example here. So we are going to start from a scratch. Okay, like we are going to feel that you do not have any idea about it, right? So
Yes.
from that phase you will slowly and gradually move to the advanced level. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's how we will go. So we'll just start for now. uh, for an example, you know how to operate Excel. Did you work on Excel before?
I don't have much idea, little bit only.
Completely okay. That's how we start, right? That's why we are here for learning, right? It's completely okay.
Yes.
I'm just out of curiosity I'm asking. So if you can see my screen, you can see the
Yes,
screen, right?
it is visible.
So first of all, welcome to you for Excel.
Thank you so
You're
much.
going to learn a very nice, you know, it is one of the very easy and very advanced tool. Okay, which has
Okay.
been acquired by different companies, and there is no competition of Microsoft Excel from past 15 years. Okay,
Okay.
or this is the very first tool which has got this spreadsheet in the market, right? A spreadsheet, which means all these sheets which you can see here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
we'll simply just try to do few math here. Okay, we will just try to do few math here. So we already aware of formulas, right? How do we, what do we understand by formula? At least we know this much, that plus minus math,
Yes.
right? We know multiplication, we know divide, right?
Mm-hmm.
These
Mm-hmm.
four things,
Yes.
if we know, this is called formula in Excel, right?
Yes. Right.
And there are few formulas which are inbuilt in Excel. So for an example, if I try to tell you this 2 plus 2 is 4. So if you can see on my screen, it is 2 plus 2, 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I try to do the same thing with Excel, if you can see, I am using one of the formula. And always for starting a formula, I press equal key from my
Yes.
keyboard.
Yes. It's going to.
So if I press equal key, it is 2. If you can see my screen, plus 2. Okay, that is
Mm-hmm.
what I
Yes.
did. Now you can see after equal, these are name of the cells are reflecting here, I4 and I5. We will
Yes.
learn that, right? As of now, we are just talking about a very basic thing, which is formula. So this is 2 plus 2 is very simple thing, which we know, right?
Yes.
So this
Right.
is 2 plus 2, and if I try to use the same thing in a formula, I'll just press equal from my keyboard. If you want me to zoom in, I'll just zoom in, so it is better for you to see it. And I'll just
Yes.
press 2 plus 2. Okay, that's how I can do it. This is another way.
Mhm.
So it's 4.
Yes.
You call it formula, right? If I try
Yes.
to do the same with minus, so if I say 4 minus 2, now this is called formula. Okay,
Yes.
but why we are discussing it? Because there are two things in Excel. One is function, and other one is formula. So this is formula which we do math. This is math which we tried. Okay, if I try to multiply also, for an example, 4 multiply by 2. So this is 8.
Mm.
Right? This is a math, a simple math, and this is how we apply in Excel. But at the same point of time, there are inbuilt feature in Excel. Okay, you do not need to
Yes.
do it in this way like calculator, right? This is a
Mm-hmm.
simple way just for learning it. So if
Yes.
I have 2 and 2 here written here, I will not have to do it plus. I simply write a very
Some.
specific sum as one of the
Yes.
function.
I heard about this
Good. That
little
is
bit.
very good. And this is, I mean, interesting for me also that you have a bit idea about it. So it is going to be very interesting. Uh, Now this is the very first cell, and this is the second cell where I have 2.
Yes.
Okay, so there I'll just select the range and I'll close the bracket and press enter. Now this is something which is called function. So this plus sign which we did, this was formula. Okay, this is something which we already know. Okay, which we
Mm-hmm.
learn in schools, right? Formula
Yes.
plus minus and multiplication and divide. This is formula, and the sum which you are learning here is called function. So if you have this question in your interview that what is formula, what is the difference between function and formula? So this is the difference, that the method which we usually follow is called formula, and there are inbuilt feature in Microsoft Excel which are going to provide with the same operation, that is called function.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a sum function, and that's what we are going to work about. Okay, so if you can see on the screen, aid number like a champ. Okay, that is what we are going to learn. How can we aid number like a champ? We are just going to follow the steps which are here. So you can see the content, you can see the example towards right side, towards left side of your screen, you can see the content. How are we going to do? This is the place where you see the examples. On the screen, you have 100% of data available with you. Okay, you can read
Yes.
it, you can observe it, you can ask a question if you have any, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay, so there are four different snapshot on the screen which you can see, where we are just going to practice. Okay, this one is a data, a very small data. Obviously, a data analyst work on very large data, but for learning, we
Mm-hmm.
have very small snapshot, which is going to make life easier and easy for understanding the different topics, right? So here
Yes.
we are
Right.
just starting from the very simple function, which is sum function. And good that you already know it, right? But
Yes.
how do we apply with the shortcuts and how do we apply it with the logic? That is also what we are going to cover today, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay. So here the function starts. We are just going to follow the procedure. So select a yellow cell under the amounts of fruits. So this is the yellow cell if you can see on my screen on the very
Yes.
first snapshot. Okay, and here I'm going to apply a function which is sum. So it's a very simple thing which is mentioned: type equal sum and select the range. So like it is mentioned here, I'm just going to do it in the similar way, not doing something else. Okay, so you can see it equal, I just have pressed equal, always the very first key. Whenever you would want to apply any of the function or formula, you will start with equal key. Okay,
Yes.
and then after the name of your function. So what is the name of your function? It is sum, because you are
Some.
going to add numbers. Okay, for adding the number, sum is the function. Okay, now sum and the simple selection of the amount. Okay, selection of the range, selection of the sales. I just did that and close the bracket. And that's what it is mentioned here in the second number of a step, if you can see, right?
Yes,
And that is
right.
what we are typing here, and I'll just press enter here. So the answer is 170, and here you can see when you're done, you'll see the result as 170. Correct?
Correct.
So this is very simple. We just try doing this thing. Now here is another way using a shortcut. Now we are going to learn a shortcut also for this. So we know how to apply function now. Okay, this is the sum function which we have applied. Okay, but how do we do the same thing with shortcuts? Because as a data analyst, it is not required that you know a function. You should be able to transform the same thing in a quicker way. Correct?
Yes, correct.
And what we are going to learn here. So let's focus on this one. How do we apply it? So can you see this fourth option? Press this specific shortcut which is mentioned. What do you see here?
Alt
Alt.
is equal
Yes,
to.
correct. So Alt equal. This is the shortcut. Did you try doing
Mhm.
this before? If not, then
Yes.
see it here. So Alt equal, as I press here, as I do here on the yellow cell, I didn't write anything. I did not press equal, I did not write sum, I also didn't open the bracket, did not select the range and close the bracket. I did nothing. I simply press Alt and equal key from my keyboard, correct? And that automatically did all these things, correct?
Yes, correct.
So simply I'll have to press enter from my keyboard, and this is how the same thing are reflecting. One place where we tried doing the same thing manually, and here it is an automated way. You simply press a shortcut and that is going to help you with the function, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, good to know this. No questions so far, correct?
Is correct.
That I can get from your voice. Your voice is, you're very confident, so I know it that you do not have any question. Okay, good then. So here you have one more example, which is where we are going to see how can we add numbers with a logic. For an example, we do not get, as a data analyst, we do not have a situation in a simple way. So this is a very simple way, okay, where we can add the numbers. But if we want to add the numbers above to a specific value, and these are always the requirement, right? Whenever you prepare any simulation or any simulator for your supervisor, your TLs, your managers or directors or other leadership, right? Even when you're sharing it with the organizers, such requirement comes. So if you would want to go for that, this is the real example which we are checking here. If you can see the third snapshot where you have five number of items and the amount is reflecting, right? So how
Yes.
can you apply a function here? But now you need to add the amount which are only above 50. So overall, if you ask me to simply go ahead and press shortcut, so I'll simply do it sum, okay, which is alt and equal key. And that has added
Mhm.
the numbers, which is 260, but we do not want here 260. We want only the numbers which are above 50. That should be getting added here. So how can we do
Mhm.
that? Do you have any idea?
Mm. Uh,
No worries, it's
count
completely okay.
count with the help of count, I
Okay,
think.
no worries. See, at this point of time, this is related to logical function. Some function which we already tried above. Okay, now we are
Yes.
going to try the logical function. And that logical function we are going to apply here is sum with if function. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
no, it's completely okay. See, we are learning. We can make 100 mistakes because we are learning, right? That is the BOD what we are going to get.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you can see my screen, I am applying one of the function which is sum if. And what this
yes.
thing is going to do, how is it different from the above? SumIf is the function which is going to help us providing the sum of the numbers, but if we are trying to give a condition. So what condition would we want to give here? So if you can see here, fifth number of point on my screen, sum if, open the bracket, select the range, and also specify that the value is greater than 50. Can you see that on the
Yes.
fifth number of point? Simply,
Yes.
I'm going to write the same thing. So sum if, selection of the range, and I did that. Now I'll press comma here, and I'll just specify, and for specifying the condition, I'll have to type within the inverted comma. So within the inverted comma, I'll just write it above 55. So greater than 50. Sorry, not 55, it's greater than 50. And now I'll close the bracket. If I do so, it is going to sum. See, it is one and the same thing. If you can see, sum and then the selection of the range. Okay. Sum if
Mhm.
is just going to work in the similar way, but here we have given a condition that the value should be above 50. It should not be below to 50 or equal to 50. That is what we
Mhm.
are able to see here.
Mhm.
If I press enter here on the screen, the overall amount which you see here as 100, correct?
Yes, correct.
But why do we see in this way? Why do we not see it for cakes and bread? Okay, we see it for donuts. Okay, if you can see, donut price is 100, but this is also 50, correct? If you want me to
Yes.
highlight, I'll just highlight it.
Mm-hmm.
So the overall number, why is it not adding 50? Because 50 is not greater than 50. Okay, what
Yes.
is greater than 50?
100
51
or
or
51,
right,
51 means
correct,
51,
correct.
52 above the 50 exactly.
Okay, you got the concept already. So that is
Yes.
what we are talking about. So the condition which we have given is greater than 50. So anything which is above to or equal to 51, okay, that is what we are going to edit here. And the sum if function is going to help us there. So for an example, if I want to add 50 also, then I'll have to specify equal to within the condition. So if you can see here on the screen, I'll just zoom it for you, zoom in for you. And here, if you can see,
Mm-hmm.
sum if, we just have made the selection here, and post the selection, we have specified greater than 50. Here, after the greater
Yes,
than sign,
now. Yeah.
I'll press equal from my keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
This is called operation. Whenever you use this key, these are operation. Okay, so if I press enter here, you can see the overall is reflecting as 200. Okay, the total is reflecting as a 200. So which all are added here. So if I just highlight the numbers, these are the numbers which are added here. Okay, so on the
Okay.
screen, these are the numbers which are equal to and greater than 50. Am I right?
Yes.
Because 40 and 20, which are a piece and cookies price, they are below 50, correct? They are not equal to 50. Okay, but the
Mm-hmm.
benefit of function is if you have any changes here, that's when your sum function, which is sum function, is going to add it. For an example, if I make this price for cookies, I'm going to make it 51. And as I do so, you can see the total got changed,
Yes.
251. Let me press Ctrl Z. See, before it was 40 and the total was reflecting as 200. So the 40 was not added here in the total because it is below 250.
Mm-hmm.
And as I try to do it, for an example, if I try to do it for 75, so 75 is a value which is above 50, correct? And as I
Yes.
simply just write it, the overall amount is reflecting as 275. So the only one which is not added here is piece price, correct?
Yes, correct.
So this is called operation. Why do we call operation? For an example, if you can see on my screen, I'll just show you one of the operation keyword. So these are greater than, this is greater than equal to, this is less than, this is less than equal to, and this is not equal to. Okay. So
Okay.
these all are operation above, below. Sorry, this one is below, and this is above or equal to. We
Equal
are
to.
writing two different things, above or equal to.
Equal to. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
here the same thing is this one is below to or equal to. So
Mm-hmm.
all our operation, and that is what we are going to learn here. This is not equal to. So we need to remember what all are we going to specify. And if you're writing the if function, so this is the very basic function which we are applying, as this is a very first class today, right? In moving
Yes.
forwards, we are just going to learn all these things, but this is the list of operation which we are going to remember always. Please remember it. It is not that difficult. Greater than and
Mm-hmm.
less than, which you already know. This is one more thing, which is greater than and equal to, and less than and equal to. Okay.
Yes.
And if you want not equal to be specified, then you just use the sign.
Above and below
Yes,
plus sign.
correct. Okay. I'm just asking you one question in between. Are you liking the session?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Then, did you learn anything new today?
Yes.
Okay, great. So see here, we are going to learn more interesting thing. As of now, we just have applied this thing, and now you will ask me to apply the function. Okay, so how should I apply here if I want to apply the sum if? Can you tell me? Or should I apply it for you?
Equal to sum if
Correct. Sum if I
and bracket and then select the range
correct. I did that.
and comma and greater than or less than
For
we have to apply the sign that
okay, so if I say
and
like
then value and then inverted comma close then bracket close then
see,
we
so
will
I
find the number.
yes. So for an example, if I just select these values, okay, so 160. So overall 50 plus 50 is 100 and 40 plus 20 is 60. So it is showing me
Yes.
the is 160. So this is a very simple thing, as it is a very first class. That's why we mentioned that we start from scratch, where we feel that you do not have any idea about it. Okay, so that is
Mm-hmm.
going to help us
Yes.
all. And if we already know it, it is going to rebrush that thing. It is going to rebrush that thing, which will help us even in a better way, right? So this is the very first thing which we have understood. Now there is extra credit goes here. If you can read it, try adding another sumif function here, but eight amount that are less than 100. So the result will be 160. Okay, and that is what our
150.
result is. Even if we do it less than 100 also, we are going to get the same amount. If we keep it greater than or less than 100, we also have applied equal to sign. So if I remove the equal to sign,
Mm-hmm.
then it is going to be 160, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so all this content you'll get, and that is what going to help us. So this is the very first sheet, the very first option which we have learned here, right? Next thing
Yes.
which we
Right.
are going to move on, the fill option. And this fill option is very interesting. But before that, I'll just want you to go on the split sheet. Fill is the sheet which obviously we would want to work, but this is a very interesting sheet where we get some automation done. So on my screen, if you can see what it is mentioned here, data stuffed into one column, split it. Can you
Mm.
do that? Yes, we can do that. How can we do that? With the help of flash fill. Do you know the name flash fill?
No. No.
Okay, so see now, this is called machine learning. Machine learn
Mhm.
it from your samples which you have given. So on my screen, just focus on now. You can see this email ID on the screen.
Yes.
Basis that if you would want to get the first name and last name, will you be able to get it?
Uh,
Manually, simply. I mean, what is the first name? So it's Nancy and
Nancy.
last name is Smith, right?
Smith. Yes.
But we get like number of rows of data as a data analyst, right? This is just a very
Mm-hmm.
simple one, right? So it becomes very
Yes.
easy. We can do it manually also, but we require function, formulas, or the advanced option we should be knowing it, right? So
Yes. Right.
how can we do it? Now see it. I just observe what am I going to do. Now later on I'll tell you what did I do, okay? So here on
Sure.
my screen, I'm just typing Nancy here. That is the very first example. And now see what am I going to do. Focus here. Did you get it? What did I do? So there is one of the shortcut which I have pressed, and that shortcut is going to help us. The option I have worked here with, that is flash fill. And this is very interesting. As of now, we only have five number of names. But if you have lakh number of names, and this is how you would want to split it. Splitting is one of the very important part when go for a data. Okay, you must be
Mm-hmm.
knowing it. It is too important. Okay, so this specific function is an automated function which is going to help you. If you learn this, then it is going to help you with the 16 different formula and function. Like SUMIF is one of the function, right? Similarly,
Mm-hmm.
for splitting the data, there are 16 or about 20 formulas are there. But this flash fill is has minimized all them. Flash fill is newly featured. It's newly added in the few last few years, and this is helping all of us. Okay, this had made very easier for all the data analysts to split. But how can you do that? Let's understand it. So here you
Yes.
just need to provide few of the example, and then Excel is going to do it on your behalf. For an example, I just did like Nancy, and as I just press A here, so Excel could understand that Nancy, which is the first name before the dot. If you can see the first dot, Nancy dot Smith,
Mm-hmm.
dot is separating two different names. That is what Excel is understanding. And that is what you also, when I asked you what is the first name, so you told it Nancy. How did you say it? Because you found a dot here. If I say here Nikita, okay,
Okay.
then you must be saying that Nikita is the first name, right? But how did
Mm.
you get to know? Because you found out a dot here, that yes, here it is getting separated. Okay,
Okay.
so that is what Excel is also understanding. And if I just give it a one more example, for an example, I just did a Nancy, and as I do it for the second row, see automatically, can you see the grayed out names? Names
Yes.
are grayed out, Andy, Jane, Maria, Yaman. If I just press enter from my keyboard, they'll get auto-filled here.
Mm.
So
Okay.
Excel is like ocean. We just know very few feature as of now. If we get into it, then we can work as the one of the very best out of all the data analysts. There are many data analysts, but as you can work in even better way because you know all the feature and function of it, right?
Yes, right.
So here it is the second thing. Control E is the shortcut. I just need to be within this column, and if I press Control E, now why am I pressing Control E? How is it going to help us? That all we learned, but where the option is available, we'll check it that too. So as of now, if you can see on top where my cursor is moving, this thing called title bar, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is the title for each different tool. This
Yes.
is always the same thing where you see the title of the files. So if you can see here, welcome to Excel is the name of
Yes.
the file is reflecting. So it is a title of the file. Now below to that you can see menu bar. Okay, where you have all the menus, all the options are reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
So below that you see
Yes.
formula bar. Okay, and near to that you see a name box which is going to tell you what is the name of the sale. So as of now I'm in the column number E and row number 7. So here it is showing E7,
Yes.
correct?
57. Mm.
And all this data just below here you can see this is called sheet. All this you know a specific area which you can see, this page is called sheet, and here there are more number of sheets below, right? Below to
Yes.
that you can see status bar, scroll bar, okay, and all that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But why we are discussing it here? Because we need to understand where this flash fill option is available. So if we do not want to go by the shortcut, if I want to click that option, then how can I do it? So if you go on data,
Mm.
here you will be able to see flash fill option. Okay, where will you see it? You'll have this specific option reflecting on the screen. Can you see it on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, automatically fill in values, enter a couple of example you want as output and keep the active cell in the column you want filled in. Correct? So it is
Correct.
explaining also,
Mm-hmm.
but the same feature is available in different places. For an example, this place, if you can see on my screen,
Yes.
on the home tab also the same feature is available here as a flash fill, and
Yes.
you can see the shortcut is also reflecting, which is Control E, right?
Controlling. Yes.
Okay, so we just have learned one more shortcut. One was
Yes.
Alt equal key, which is for adding the numbers, and second one is Control E for flash fill, right?
Controlling. Mm.
So if you just need to be within this column, and if you press Control E here, that's when you will be able to see all it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how it is. That's all for today. We are going to learn more, uh, but today we just have uh, understood this thing. Now I'm on mute for a minute, please. Allow me a minute, please. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so here I just have stopped sharing my screen, and I hope you liked the session, right?
Yes.
Before
Definitely.
we get the closer of it, uh, I just want to tell you one thing, or I just want to take a feedback. Did you like the session, and what? How was the speed? It was like good, perfect, or the speed should be slow for you, or speed should be faster?
No, it was average. It was very good because of this was my first day, and if you uh, if you were fast, so I cannot understand. But today, totally, I understand everything. So thank you so much. It was an amazing.
That is good. Really, thanks for your feedback. This is going to encourage me, and I'll keep continuing in the similar way. So, keep on sharing your feedbacks on daily classes also if you want me to reduce my speed, if you want me to increase my speed, because as of now you are new.
Mhm.
After some time, you'll tell me, okay, please move faster. So, just in that case, I'll just accordingly update myself. So really thanks for joining and for giving your sufficient time here. In case if you have any question, you can ask in the class tomorrow also. I would request you
Mhm.
to please provide 5 minutes of for yourself, just 5 minutes, and then just practice the same thing. If something was new here today, then please try
Mhm.
to practice the same thing. And tomorrow, if you have any question on the same thing, then just try to ask that question first. I'll answer your question first, then only I'll move ahead on the next topic. Correct?
Correct. Sure.
Okay, so be available on the same time. Okay, this
Sure.
session
Sure.
will always be on the same time. Do not miss it. Okay, because we
Okay.
are here
Sure.
for learning. If we miss any class, then it is somewhere we are. It is our loss, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's all for today, Vasundhara. Really, thanks for joining in. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much for the very awesome and amazing session. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.